questions. Now that it's happened and the ACC has officially expanded. Number 5, do the fans in the ACC care? This is like...
That's a good question.
I mean, do they, I'm sure they're happy, especially if you're not Clemson, Florida State, and UNC, who all have made it clear where they stand. But if you're a Boston College fan or a Georgia Tech fan, do you care? Or are you just like, okay, well, all right, I guess we're playing SMU now. That's what I wonder, because this is the most of all of it. Because I think, when just living through the realignment madness of the last couple of years, every move around here was met with, oh my God, this is exciting, this is great. And the Big Ten, we're going to play USC and Oregon now, oh my God, this is great. And the SEC, Texas and Oklahoma, A&M and Texas is back. And then you get to the ACC, and it's like Stanford and Pitt.
I mean, I don't know. Could be fun to see school with the history of the U go up against a school with the history of the Pony XS.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't move
two of the
needle.
best 30 for 30s will now be a conference game.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, so it doesn't. Number 4, how does this affect the CFP? So now that they know where everybody's going to be, and it looks like Oregon State and Washington State are going to join the Mountain West because they don't have any other options. You just heard what I said about Army. So how does this, how do they do the 5+7? Do they still do 6+6? What do they do now that they know where everybody's going to be? So they just go have these meetings this week, and then 2 days later, the ACC is like, okay, now we'll do it. Maybe that's because they know what they're going to, where they're leaning.
It might go 4-4-4. Champs, second best in the conference, and then 4 wild cards.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, you're second best, then you devalue the conference champions game.
But they were already doing that.
Yeah. Well, they are.
I don't know, just throwing it out.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, because the conference championship game is not necessarily the 2 best teams in the conference.
Exactly. That's going to help your Big Ten East, SEC West kind of runner up.
They're getting rid of divisions in most of these too, but even still, it might not be the 2 best.
Yeah.
Honestly, because of the way these things fall. Especially
a lot of those top of division games, those have been rivalries.
Well,
whoever loses the game might end up losing out on playing in the Big Ten championship game, but they're still the second best in the conference.
Yeah, and look, with 18, just the Big Ten, for example, with 18 teams, you could have the second best team have not played what is the third best team that's going to leapfrog them to go in. And so then you don't have, there's a lot of weird math that could happen here. Number 3, how long does George Kliavkoff have a job now? Because now it's down to the Pac-2.
This time next year?
Yeah, I guess.
No, probably till July when there's no more conference to manage.
Yeah. So,
They'd be smart to just cut him and say, we don't need a commissioner right now.
They still have to, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What does that mean?
Can I stop paying him, save a little money at the end?
I don't know. No, because he got a contract. So, he's probably got a contract for the next couple of years.
He ran the business into the ground.
He wasn't alone.
Yeah,
he was just the guy that was the figurehead, and they put in charge of that. But yeah, he wasn't alone. What do you do? What is his job now in these meetings without a conference? Because the minute that Oregon State and Washington State make their decision, which will more than likely be to join the Mountain West unless something comes completely out of the blue, especially since the AAC doesn't appear to be interested in that. So if they join the Mountain West, which I think would be a great move for them, given their, not a great move, but it's a good move. They'll be treated well by Gloria Nevarez, and they'll be all right. But yeah, that's going to be strange. But how long? What do you even need him to do?
I don't know.
Yeah, what? After the year's over, I'm sure he's got things to do during the year.
My answer to that question is the same answer that George Kliavkoff gave about the TV deal through the whole summer. I don't know.
It's coming. No. Well, we've got great plans. We got plans for that. Number 2. who has the best offer for the Pac-12? I wrote this morning, and then of course the AAC released we're not going to go west. So the best offer is the Mountain West. That's what's going to happen for them. Now,
I don't know, Paul, the whack.
Could they backfill the league? I don't think so now. I think that would have only been possible with Stanford and Cal. And even then, I think it would have been a very, very steep uphill climb.
Yeah, I think we're actually going to see the end of the Pac branding here.
Yeah. I think that's over.
I think the Mountain West will be the westernmost FBS conference.
Yeah, probably. So,
as far as the geographic center,
the Mountain West will be the best offer for them. That's probably what's going to be.
Yeah.
And number 1, how long before the dissenters leave? Florida State, Clemson, and UNC voted against this. UNC's pretending like it's about plane travel. It's not. It's about money. It's all about the money. And they're trying to figure this out. But how long do you really get to keep these 3 teams in? Because this move was made in large part due to the fact that you knew that they're going to leave as soon as the door opens for them to do it. Whether that's in a year or 5 years or 7 years, 10 years, the minute that the door opens for them to leave, you'll just see, dust in their team colors. Just garnet and gold, orange and purple, Carolina blue, dust. That's what you're going to see. Boom, like a cartoon.
I give it 5 years.
I think the 1 year people who think it's going to be next year that are sure of it, and there's some of those that are on Florida State's board, I think they're a little bit too optimistic. But I do think that within 5 years they will have figured out or raised enough or figured enough out to go.
I just figure it's all about the money at the end of the day, and the money will be affected by how successful teams are in the college football playoff. Playoff's about to expand, and I just think people will take these next 4 or 5 years, get used to it, and getting used to it will mean those schools, those dissenters, realizing, yeah, we're still not getting enough money. And it'll set in, it'll sink in, it'll take a bit to get them to the point, and then they'll hit the point of action.
Yep. All right. That's going to do it for us. Thanks to Jack McKenzie, Garrett Ross, all of our guests.